My journey began from Athens, in the early hours of Sunday, March 13. I got on a car ride with a Belgian anarchist called Sophie, who was transporting humanitarian aid cargo. We drove straight north for 24 hours, and we took separate ways just before the Polish borders. After another couple of days, I eventually arrived in Warsaw on the 16th and promptly went to meet Kacha, an old friend and comrade, well known in the anarchist circles of Poland, with a long history of participation in various struggles.
My name is Katarzyna Czernota. I'm a sociologist, currently working with foundation for Helsinki Foundation for Human Rights also.
We mostly spoke about the refugee crisis in this interview, but I took the chance to ask her about the main focus of my reporting. All over the internet there are images of anarchist units fighting in Ukraine, particularly in Kiev. And just only yesterday, I think it was known that an anarchist fell in battle in Kharkiv, in fact.
We can refer that situation to the other war conflicts and anarchist movement was visible in each war, let's say, and was organizing the autonomous groups, and it is not something new that anarchists are fighting. Actually, the anarchist movement is the example of the movement that in each crisis it's giving us first the response.
So what do you know about these anarchist units? Have you heard of the Resistance Committee?
Yes, I heard about the Resistance Committee, but I think that for more details, this is the situation for the, let's say, last 2 weeks. So for the details, go and ask Shema will tell you everything, and it will be more clear.
Off to Poznan then to meet Siema. I left a little after we finished the interview and arrived there the same evening. I soon made my way towards a familiar place, Rozbrat, the oldest squat in Poland. Still standing after 29 years, despite persistent evacuation attempts, and still going strong.
I'm Kamil Siemaszko, known as Siema as well in the circles, and my education is I'm a master in sociology, but I work as a coach and I'm a professional Muay Thai fighter. We were from the beginning in contact with what's going on in Ukraine, with the representatives, with the activists from the movement there. Straight away we set up our links, for example, with German groups, the anti-fascist and anarchist groups, to start to organize a convoy. From Rozbrat there are 2 volunteers fighting in the resistance committee in Kiev area. The resistance committee, they have started it from the very first days of Russian invasion, They joined the territorial defense. The first, they just got equipped with AK guns and ammo, but also with the support from Germany, they've started to have. They are way better equipped now. Now there are like nearly 50 fighters in their unit.
I returned to Warsaw right after interviewing Siema. On the next day, March 20th, there were 2 protests against the invasion, organized at the same time in different locations. Both were decently attended, but neither was very large. They also both seemed to have a mostly liberal orientation. In any case, I was not there for that. I had come to meet and interview a Ukrainian and a Belarusian anarchist.
If you are inside, the only chance they gave us is to fight, to resist. It's no other way for people to survive.
I'm Maria from Kiev, and I'm a participant of an anarchist movement for many years.
My name is Masha, and I come from Belarus. I have a degree in linguistics, and I am mostly doing translations at the moment. I was part of the anarchist movement for the last, I don't know, maybe 12 years or so in Minsk.
What do you know about this resistance committee and the other anarchist groups that are active in the defense against the Russian invasion?
All people who I know who were a kind of political refugees in Ukraine, they're actually fighting in territorial defense at the moment, in different groups of this territorial defense. Most of them joined this resistance committee.
I heard the same, and like I read the announcement of like forming a unit under the anti-authoritarian motto. And for sure it should be pointed out that before the war, the anarchist movement or like anti-authoritarian movement in Ukraine has been like very fragmented and like I would say weak.
We were comparably small as a movement. Also last years we had a lot of conflicts and problems inside the movement. But the morning we woke up from the sound of bombing of our cities, I think most of these conflicts went like how to say it in English, like it's not important anymore.
Understanding that every political force or every people who have resources are now forming something like that, it's important that anarchists react, or like the leftists react to that also.
It also has some problematic moments, also logistic, also how to make it work on this horizontal level. There are problems, but people have a lot of will to organize this way, to build their own structures. Also because they understand that it's not only Russia, but yeah, they might have in some point some political dangerous situation.
There's going to be life after war, and politically anarchists will have to survive in there. So it would be stupid to just say or dismiss it as a thing that doesn't need our attention.
If this whole situation is empowering a section of like hardcore Nazis and putting them in a position to have military organizing and is attracting more Nazis from other places, would you say that an option for what anarchists can do, for what anti-fascists can do within the same context?
I mean, if they have this support, we also should have this support. It's like, if their comrades want to support them, our comrades, I have a feeling, should have a will to support us. Whatever they can do. I don't think that each one, I mean, I'm not fighting there. I don't think that each one should go, but there are people who can.
And also, like, there's this other group that is acting together with them and like providing supplies and stuff like that. So people could, like the Operation Solidarity.
Please tell me more about this.
Yeah, like this is, like from what I got is this, that they basically, like those who didn't want to join or couldn't join for some reason the unit, the fighting unit specifically, had to work on the ground, right? Have to work in the rear, let's say, and collect money, fundraise, you know, buy equipment and stuff.
My next stop was Krakow. I arrived there on the 21st. I had arranged to meet with the city's branch of anarchist Black Cross Galicia, who had been mobilizing in support of Ukrainian anarchists.
Mam na imię Paulina.
My name is Paulina. I got the degree of the science of history. I work in the anarchist Black Cross since 11 years.
Ja mam na imię Janusz.
My name is Janusz. I work in the anarchist Black Cross Krakow. In every day I work as a working class person. My name is Marcin. I've got the degree of the biology and breeding of animals. I'm master of engineering. I'm anti-fascist working class person. Our comrades in Ukraine got the simple choice, freedom or death.
The cooperation that we have among the Anarchy Black Cross, which is connecting Nowy Sącz, Rzeszów and Kraków, it's a long time cooperation that we have been having since many years already. But the actual mobilization, it just has exploded like spontaneously because of what happening in Ukraine.
Anarchists down there quickly organized themselves, so they organized their own sort of battalions inside of the Ukrainian system of self-defense, and also they got some foreign volunteers too. At first, we start to complete humanitarian aid like medicine and those things, but after that they tell us about another needs as boots, as uniforms, as stuff like this. Finally, we also organize 100 plate carriers for them. There's the warehouse around the Rzeszów when the things are collected and checked and sent to different people, depends what they need. I mean, the anarchists of the Lviv and anarchists in Kiev.
What is Operation Solidarity? How does it work? And how is it connected to the Resistance Committee?
No też nie za dużo nie możemy mówić, bo sami też, wiesz, no wiemy tyle, ile mogą nam przekazać.
We have no whole picture, you see.
Okay.
No.
It's good. It's enough. I will ask in Rzeszów.
So my final destination in Poland would be the small town of Rzeszów, where all this mobilization seemed to culminate in that big warehouse, situated in a secret location.
So welcome in the warehouse.
So how it works? I'm staying here all the time. I'm living house near from this place, so I'm here 24 hours. Normally I just got a text from somebody or from, I don't know, from Germany or from our crew. There is some transport coming from there. So I come here, I help bring stuff to the warehouse. I later make a list of everything comes here. I'm sorting everything out. And yeah, that's for that.
My name is Leon. I'm a skilled worker working in renewable industry, work at height specialist. My education is more humanistic education, higher education.
So my name is Mikołaj. I have a basic education and I consider myself as a working class person.
Coming to the war, the response of the anarchist movement in Poland, if I can say, was clear. We're going to support the refugees, we're going to support our comrades in Ukraine. Doesn't matter if they're actively fighting on the front line or they are part of the logistic organization.
The anarchist movement is quite agreeing that we need to support Ukraine, defend of Ukraine. So we are focused mostly on our comrades in Ukraine. So we organize some kind of deliveries there with like some medic stuff and food also and all what they need.
We having the deliveries of materials and equipment from all over the Europe, from Germany, France, Spain, Belgium and other countries.
Can you tell me a little bit about where you're coming from?
From Berlin, and with some kind of spontaneous to go here. We have planned for around 2 weeks.
¿Qué vamos a hacer? Pues aquí un poco de comida, ¿no? De comida para... Un poco de comida, abrigo, ropa, ¿no?
Medicamentos.
Medicamentos. Y ya está. Hay poco más. Todo lo que se pueda para ayudar.
¿De dónde eres?
Nosotros somos de Andalucía, de Granada y de Jaén. De Granada y de Jaén, aquí. Hemos venido 3 coches.
We are from all over the France, and by our network we collect a lot of donations. We are 2 vans, 2 cars that arrive here from France, and we have a lot of medicines, surgery donations, bed surgery, and a lot of medical material too.
Yeah.
And sleeping bags and a little bit. But our main donations are medical donations. We can open an hospital. With the van, we can open an hospital.
This warehouse was established by Anarchist Black Cross Galicia, but also the other groups are involved, like No Borders Team and others Anarchist Black Cross groups from the different cities, and also like cooperation from Rzeszów, and we get deliveries from all over the Poland and also from the abroad, especially from Germany, like from our comrades from Hamburg. So this is how it looks.
Well, basically, when we started as Anarchist Black Cross, basically 2 cities, Rzeszów and Kraków, were together. We opened a massive warehouse, big warehouse. So it's our headquarters of operation. We became like a center of logistic operation close to Ukrainian border. We established a good line of support. Our deliveries are going twice per week to Lviv, supporting with all the materials they need. The other groups operating in our region, like Anarchist Federation, Workers Cooperative Czarna Galicja, and even individual anarchists, we all gathered together to help. Also, we are of course cooperating with the Anarchist Black Cross groups in Poland. They're supporting us. People are coming, helping us with the physical work we're doing over here. I have to mention, we've got a great support from anti-fascist group 161 crew, from No Borders, from Anarchist Federation, from cooperatives operating around. So it became like a network of anarchistic groups working together towards the same goal.
It's somehow consolidate the movement again, because I think in every country had a lot of different argues and conflicts, inner conflicts, but this people are dying and our comrades are dying. I think now mostly the groups work together, so it's super good to see it.
For us as anarchists, the main focus is to support anarchists in Ukraine.
What is Operation Solidarity? What is the Resistance Committee? And how do you connect to Operation Solidarity, and how does Operation Solidarity connect to the Resistance Committee and other groups?
Well, when the armed conflict started in Ukraine in the recent month, Ukrainian anarchist groups created their own armed battalions fighting against the Russian invaders, against the, of course, Russian army. But a part of armed struggle forces of anarchists, there are also, one of the most important things is to create a logistic for them. That's how the Operation Solidarity started. There are anarchist groups who joined together and they decide they're gonna work as the logistic support for every armed struggle groups fighting against the Putin's regime.
Where are we going?
We are going to Lvov.
We are going often to Lvov.
No, almost like that twice a week.
Finally, the time had come for me to cross into Ukraine. So on the 27th of March, I caught a ride in the van of Czarna Galicja, the workers' co-op, that was going to Lviv to make a delivery.
There is a co-op, a cooperative that you are part of. Tell me a little bit about this cooperative.
The cooperative, we began with the idea to work together with no bosses against the capitalist system. People who create this is like the anarchists, autonomists, and the socialists. I think it is the first cooperative like we in Poland. We try to different ways to how it work, how to get money from this. We have like the two option. It's like the make work with garden, everything with garden, and also almost everything is with the buildings, painting, because we painting, we put the gips and all the stuff. Yeah. For now, we work like the 8 people, but from the 3 years we have a lot of people, our friends, and the people from our anarchist group, punk groups, and the rest. But it was really hard to find a way together, because it's always better to go to the party with the friends, not like the work with everybody. So it's a really hard way.
For how long do you plan to stay in Ukraine?
Welcome to Operation Solidarity headquarters.